Hi and welcome to my rant Ruminations. I'm in the middle of a move, hence the ratty clothes. Just ignore them, pretend they're not there. Pretend they're there, something else there though. No imagining me naked. You know who I'm talking to. Anywho, okay, so the general election is coming around the corner and canvassers will be showing up at your doors. So what? Well, if they show up at your doors, there's three very important questions to ask them. Question 1, repealing the 8th Amendment. If they're against, personally, they get the door in my case. Because the 8th Amendment should be repealed. Personally, I might, if I had a uterus, I would never have an abortion, but it is not my place to choose for any other woman. And it certainly isn't the place for any man sitting in Dáil Éireann on his fat ass, waiting to claim his fat fucking pension to make that decision for her. It needs to be repealed. That's number 1. Number 2, privatisation of a national resource. In other words, water. We now know that Irish water is literally just privatisation via the back door. We also know that it's still being fought, although it's getting virtually no airtime that I can see. Here's the thing. Unless they are willing to shut down and dismantle Irish water, they're getting the door. Because Irish water is ridiculous. Hand control of the water system back to the county councils. Put a small group of people in charge of those departments nationwide. Make sure change happens and that the money that's supposed to be going there gets there. There's your solution. Get it done. Don't hand it over to a fucking autocrat who already owns far too much of this country, O'Brien. That's number 2. Number 3. Yeah, I did that on purpose. The systemic, built-in discrimination against young people in this country. What am I talking about? You're 16. You're old enough to get married with your parents' consent. You're 16. You're old enough to have sex. You're 16. You're old enough to work and pay into the exchequer. However, you will not be allowed to vote until you are 18. That is some grade A bullshit. That needs to be repealed. It needs to be reversed, and we need to acknowledge that 16-year-olds now are not as closeted, are not as sheltered and as uneducated as 16-year-olds were even when I was 16. I know 14-year-olds now who blow me away with how savvy they are where politics is concerned. But local, national and international. It's incredible. Let them have the fucking vote. They're paying through the nose for it. Next, same thing, same topic, same problem. You get made unemployed. You've been working since you were 16. Your friend next to you has been working since he was 16 too. And then the guy next to him. You 3 of you have been working since 16. Here's the thing. You're 20. The guy next to you is 25 and the guy next to him is 26. 3 of you have been sharing an apartment for the past few years, paid for by the money you've been earning in your job. Suddenly, all 3 of you are let go because the company goes belly up. Luckily, the employer has the decency to give you termination notices, which means that you are able to apply for social welfare almost immediately. Sweet. What happens next? Well, the person who is 20 gets told, oh, you're only getting €100 a week because you're under 25. The 25-year-old gets told you're only getting €144 a week because you're under 26. And the 26-year-old gets told, here, have all the monies. €188, have fun with that. Now, I'm not going into the rates as such, not the upper rate, but it is absolutely wrong that these people that these 3 examples who have been paying into the exchequer since they were 16 have been told, sorry, yeah, because you're under an arbitrary age, we're cutting your allowed income massively. In one case, almost in half. The end result is that 2 of the 3 have to move away from Dublin to Ballymearstown, where they come from, where they have no hope of getting employment. The 26-year-old, as much as he would love to stay in Dublin now has enough money to stay if he had two other people who are getting the same amount of money, but he doesn't know two people doing that. So the end result is, to start with, he goes into an illegal bed set. That gets reported, he gets turfed out, the bed set gets shut down, and he ends up back in Ballymarstown. Why does this have a long-term repercussion? Because all three of them as a group decide, you know what, we'll go to Australia for a couple of years. They go to Australia for a couple of years. They find girlfriends, they find boyfriends, they settle down, they raise a family, they pay all their taxes into the Australian exchequer, and they are gone from the Irish exchequer. This is a big problem because one of the largest generations in Irish history is about to retire. Who's going to pay their pensions? Our government, in an incredibly short-sighted and mean-spirited act, robbed our young of any possibility of staying in their birth country while they looked for employment. The end result is that most of them will have left, and those who have left, most of them aren't coming back. They're not coming back because there's nothing here for them. They've made lives there. They have jobs there. They have family there. Who's going to pay for their parents' pensions? Their aunts and uncles' pensions? Who's going to continue to pay for their grandparents' pensions? And these are the three things that you need to pin canvases to the wall about, because they are three things that have immense long-term repercussions for this country. And now I have to go packing. So, bye for now.